Hey family, how are we all doing? I know this has been a rough couple of days for us. A lot of us have lost somebody really important to us, especially if you're from Philly in LA, you know what I mean? So pardon me for this video being a bit late. I didn't really have it in me to be funny, you know what I mean? But I'm feeling a bit better, you know what I mean? And I hope you guys are too. And I hope that I could bring you some joy in the midst of some of our sadness. And this show tonight has given me tons of laughs, so I'm ready to review it. I hope you are too. Let's get into it. So when I say that this show had me dying, we start off with Chris Harrison walking into the room. This is like the first group trip. And he walks in and he's just like, ladies, Peter has left. He's packed his bags and he has left town. And you ladies are going to join him. And the ladies are like, oh my goodness, this is our first trip. This is our first trip. And Chris is like, in Cleveland, Ohio. Crickets. Crickets. The girls was like, Cleveland, Ohio. One girl was like, is there love there? I'm so glad they kept this in because you guys know I cannot stand when they do those fake reactions to just like going anywhere, you know, especially in the United States. I mean, come on. No shade if you from here. Nothing about the U.S. surprises you, right? So y'all know I cannot stand those fake, oh my goodness, we're going to Virginia. These girls tonight were like, Cleveland. Cleveland. They were so disappointed. And they were just like, okay, I guess I'll go pack. I loved it. I loved it. Now let's get into the mess. So Victoria F. Alita, Battle Angel. Alita, the Battle Angel. She gets, of the night, the first, I think this is the only one. No, Kelsey was the other one. The first one-on-one date with Peter. She's really excited about it. And they go to like, was it a carnival? Someplace in Cleveland. And they're having a really good date, right? So we know on all of these dates, you get the like up and coming country singer who like serenades the couple. And shout out to Hope Green, because she told me that the reason why a lot of these artists are not, well, unknown to the majority of the audience is because they pay to come on this show to like advertise them, you know what I mean? So this is like a commercial for them. So they pay to be on The Bachelor. And she was just like, somebody like Shania Twain, she don't need to pay nobody because she's that girl. Yes, she is. But if you're a Chase, you gotta pay The Bachelor so you can come on here and, you know, share your work. You know what I mean? It was a good thing for him to do that because I was like, who is this? We'll get into that later. So, he is fine. So, Victoria, get it together, Nikki. So, Peter walks Victoria to like this, you know, concert stage or whatever. And as soon as Victoria walks up with Peter, she just like, she looks like a deer in headlights. She's just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. And then we find out that Chase is her ex. What? I was just like, this is who you could get and you on this show anyway. She's like freaking out the whole time. Chase starts singing to Victoria while she's dancing with Peter and she's just uncomfortable the whole time. She's like looking around, you know, trying not to make eye contact with her because Chase is making all kinds of eye contact with her. He is like staring her down, smiling at her. I think he knew that he would see her, but she definitely did not know that she would see him because as soon as she walked up, he was cheesing from ear to ear. He was like so elated to see her. And I was like, so y'all dating in on a bad note? Like, how was he your ex? What happened? Now I want to know about this couple. And Peter is like fangirling the whole time over this dude. It's so uncomfortable and messy and just great TV. Great TV. I will say, I felt terrible for Victoria F because you could tell that she had no idea. But this is how it goes. Like, welcome to reality TV. You tell these people all your business and they do what they have to do to bring up somebody from your past or whatever they have to do to get a good reaction for this show. This is reality TV. Whatever you give them, they will turn it into whatever they want because you have signed off, no shade, but you signed off your life for them for the next, 4 or 6 weeks or however long this process is. So as soon as she said, my ex is Chase, Bachelor went looking like, who need a coin? Who needs some advertisement? Yo, Chase, we got a spot. What you do? That's how it works. Reality TV is cutthroat. The entertainment industry alone, Hollywood, cutthroat. But reality TV, the bottom. Like, they do whatever they want because it's not as regulated as like network TV. You know, I don't want to call it straight TV, but that's like the only thing I could come up with right now. Straight TV is more regulated by SAG-AFTRA, not reality TV. Because a lot of it is non-union, and when you're non-union, balls to the wall. You can do whatever you want, and a lot of these girls are non-union. So this show has free range to do whatever they want to do with their stories. But I really felt bad for her because she was mortified. When she saw that dude, she was like, I think she could even hear him. I think she could hear that voice. And when she walked up, her face, I was just like, I would never want to be in this situation. And I did feel bad for her. I really, really did. But again, when you do reality TV, this is what you sign up for. This is what you sign up for. I felt bad for her. She was so mortified, embarrassed. She could not even get into it. But Chase was just looking at her singing. The song wasn't that bad either. You know what? It wasn't a bad song. I feel like because he cute, I'm enjoying the song more than I would. Girl. So anyway, after Chase serenades Victoria F, Peter is just like, oh, he's a lady. He's like, oh, dude, what's up? Like, he's chatting and talking to him. Chase gives him his phone number. So now they buddies. I was just like, men are so messy. He knew that this would get to Victoria. Chase, do you still want Victoria? Because Victoria, if I was you, I would go back. Like, what did he do, girl? What did he do? Let us know, because from what I'm saying, I'm like, you left Chase at home to get with Peter? What? Because she was even saying it to one of the producers, because Victoria always is like about to bail. Anytime something is a little difficult, she's always running to production and threatening to leave the show. So the producer's talking to her and she's just like, I'm really uncomfortable because he didn't want me to do this. He told me not to leave. He wanted me to stay and be with him, but I left to come to do this show. So I just need to talk to him. And I was just like, this dude who looks to be 6'5", okay? Built like a Mack truck, because no shade, I was on his Instagram, because I had to see what was under that hat. Because a lot of dudes hatfish, like it's very hard for a man who wears like a fitted baseball cap to look ugly. Like, you got to be hideous to look like, unattractive in a baseball cap. Baseball caps for men are like beards. If you got a beard and a baseball cap, which Chase has, you can get it, okay? What's Gigi had? I'm just in disbelief that she left Chase at home to come and do this show. Sis, I hope it was worth it. I hope you got your 1 million followers, because the way she was describing it, it seems like, I don't know, it just seemed like she broke up with him, because I'm like, if he told you not to do this show and to stay and to be with him, and you still did it, did you dump Chase? Something not adding up, because I just don't see it, especially after I went to that Instagram. I was like, girl, how much the Bachelor paying you? Because if a Chase Bryce told me to stay home and be with him, guess where I would be? Home with him, in the kitchen, knitting an American flag, making him some apple pie, because he seems like the type. I checked that Instagram and I was just like, you seem like the type that like says the Pledge of Allegiance every night before they go to bed. It's like prayer. He gives me that kind of guy. But you know what? You're 6'5". You can get that out of me. I'm like, oh my goodness, I saw Nikki in an American flag shirt making an apple pie. What's going on, Chase Rice? moving to Virginia. I'm hunting with my king. Child, a man will make you do some crazy things. Oh gosh, you know what? I feel like he would mess it up and like post a Confederate flag on that Instagram. I feel like now, because it always happens, especially with black women. Any non-black man that we start to crush on out of nowhere, something happened, like something is racist in his background. They're just like, now we gotta walk away, because unlike black men, black men don't walk away from no kind of vagina. But we're women. We just be like, can't do it. Can't do it. Even though you look good without the baseball cap. Chase, keep that Instagram clean, please. Don't mess this up for me. I have been disappointed so many times. Not you. Is he 6'5"? I was on that Instagram. He's a great uncle. I was all over that thing. He's a great uncle. Nice body, great hair. Ugh. Victoria F, what the hell happened, sis? I need the tea. Who got it? One of y'all got the tea, because she was talking like she dumped him, and I just can't fathom it. I cannot You dumped Chase Rice for America's favorite work husband? Girl, bye. Wouldn't have been me. Wouldn't have been me. I'm telling you, I'll be in that kitchen making that apple pie. Layering it. Some cinnamon and nutmeg, because that's what Chase likes. And although I was mortified for Victoria F, I just felt bad for Peter, because he's so in love with Chase. Like, he was so elated to not only talk to him, but to also get his number. And then in the confessional, he's just like, oh my goodness, can you imagine Chase Rice singing at our wedding? I was like, oh, dude, you about to get your heart broken. This is what I want to say about Victoria. Why did she wait so long to tell Peter? I just felt like she put herself through so much unnecessary agony. Like, I get being shocked. I get being mortified and embarrassed and just scared, because you don't know how this guy is going to take it. But I would have just told him right away. Like, as soon as I saw Chase walking up, I would have been like, hold on. Before we start line dancing, I used to date this dude. How do you feel about that? He's my ex. I'm over him. I'm here for you. How do you feel about that? You good? Let's get it on. Because leaving it for so long, it kind of, although she was afraid, and although Peter handled it like a gentleman, it just feels a bit dishonest that you didn't say it right away and you acted like everything was okay, and then you went and talked to homeboy behind the tent and he didn't know. And I get it. I know exactly what she was doing and how she felt. I just would have done it quicker and a lot sooner, so that you wouldn't even have all of this, like, this cloudiness. Because when they were at dinner, she was really afraid to say something. And I think because she sat with that for so long, she made it bigger than what it actually was to Peter. Because he was shocked at first. He was like, Chase? Oh, Chase Rice? Chase? She was just like, yes, I used to date him. And again, I don't think that Peter was like mad at Victoria for that. I think he was just disappointed, because in his mind, he was already fast best buddies with Chase. And now he just feels like there's a blockage in, the way of him becoming best friends with Chase. And that is Victoria F. Sis, you might just get cut because of that. I feel like Peter's going to choose Chase over you. And no shade, who wouldn't? Go to that Instagram and get your life. Now we're on to our group date. Cheyenne with the straight afro. I can't. Girl, you are exhausting me. She cries every episode because she does not get time with Peter. And I'm just like, what is production doing? Are they keeping you guys at bay with like stun guns and telling you can't get too close to Peter, or they're gonna shock you and knock you out? Like, what is going on? What is preventing you from being able to talk to him? I just feel like, especially when you're shooting a show like this, especially when it's reality TV and you have such a short turnaround, I think there's so much time. Guys, there's so much downtime on set. You know what I mean? Especially when you got to switch scenes, cameras got to get set up. That takes like sometimes half an hour to an hour. A lot of times it's an hour. You mean to tell me you can't talk to him in between that time? Are you crying because you're not getting time with Peter on camera? I feel like that's what it is with all of these girls. They just feel like they're not being seen with him on camera. And that's what they came here for. Because it's not making sense to me that they're all crying, especially Cheyenne, about not being able to spend time with him when he's right there. He's right there. Peter may stay in a separate place, like he's not staying in the mansion. They probably have him in something nearby. But girl, there are moments when you are able to speak to him, and I just feel like she's not doing it. She's not doing it. She's waiting for everybody else to go talk to him. Then when she sees another girl talking to him, she starts to fall out and act all sad and then come to us in the confessional and cry. And I'm just like, why don't you tell that other girl, excuse me, and talk to the dude? Why are you coming to us crying every time about another girl? I'm just exhausted by it. And I feel like at some point, Peter's going to get exhausted by it too. It's too much. You are too emotionally attached. And it's like, what? Day 4? It's too much too soon. You don't seem well. So messy Alea comes back, and she comes back to clear her name. Understandable. Like I told you guys last week, I didn't feel comfortable with her leaving because, again, she's leaving because of what everybody else is saying. And I understand Luke P. and the whole Hannah situation. It was very annoying. But for me, I just did not feel like I saw anything that warranted Peter sending her home. We saw it with Luke P. right away, right? So along with the contestants, we the viewers were annoyed because we saw the behavior. I'm not really seeing it with Alea. Maybe a bit in the end of this episode, but I just didn't think that she should have went home based off the words of a couple of girls, because if she was really doing something so foul, the cameras would have caught it and they would have showed us. So anyway, the messy beauty queen comes back, and then as soon as she comes back, Peter goes to get Victoria. And as soon as she comes back, she tells Peter her portion. Peter goes to Victoria, then he brings them all together, and Victoria feels so, Victoria P feels so on the spot and uncomfortable. But the way she's explaining how this whole thing went down, because now we find out that they're more than just associates. They like went to Vegas together. They're like hanging out. When you take trips together, you are like friends. Like that's real friendship. So things are coming out from the both of them that wasn't said before Peter cut Alea. So I just, at this point, I really don't know who to believe. Like I said, I didn't really see anything from Alea. And I feel like if there was something foul about her, the show would have showed us. I didn't see anything that warranted Peter cutting her. And then with Victoria, I just feel like her story is all over the place at this point. As soon as she's confronted by what she said by Peter, she starts crying. And y'all know how I feel about crying. I feel like people do that a lot to manipulate situations and to make people, you know, get on their side even when they're wrong, because you start to feel sympathy for them because they're crying. So all of their fault goes out of the window because they're hurting. So I don't really trust those tears. I felt like she was manipulating Peter, trying to make him feel bad so that he doesn't ask any more questions. And it actually worked, because he stopped asking questions and was walking around confused. Then he brought the both of them together. And as soon as they get together, Victoria hugs Alea. And then she's like wiping tears from her eye. And I'm like, what's going on here? What? Because I'm really confused. I'm actually just as confused as Peter. I don't know who's telling the truth. Who y'all got? Y'all got Alea or Victoria what? What is this, P or F? Victoria P. I'm not sure. I don't know who's lying. I feel like they're both lying, and I feel like these are going to be the girls that go on a double date, and Peter going to send them both of them home, because I don't know who's telling the truth at this point. What y'all think? Let's talk about it in the comment section. So Peter does this whole I'm confused thing, right? And then on this group date with women who he chose to go on this group date, after these women have beat themselves up on the football field trying to win, you know, his affection, his attention, and time with him, he gives the group date rose to a chick he cut and wasn't even there. When he gave that rose to Alea, I was just like, this won't go good for you, bro. And I hadn't seen any previews. I wasn't on Twitter. I don't know what happened, but I knew that that was not going to go well for him, because just when he did that, it felt like the energy left the room. The ladies all sat back and they were just making eyes with each other. And when women start talking with our eyes about a man in a room, it's lights for him, okay? Peter was dead in the water. He was dead in the water because it wasn't right. I disagree with that. It just seemed like a real foul move to me. I'm like, you could ask her to come back into the house. That's fine. But on this date, that rose should have went to one of the girls that you picked for that date. You know what I mean? Like, it should not have been somebody that just swooped in and came in and caused all of this drama. And because you don't know what to do, you give her the group date rose. I don't know who told him to do that. That was a dummy move. Amateur. Our silly little work husband. And so Peter's next one-on-one date is with Kelsey. While he's on this date with Kelsey, the ladies are back at the mansion planning a revolt. They are dragging him for filth in this mansion, okay? All the love has left. You know what I mean? The girls are just like, I haven't gotten any time with him. He don't even know my middle name, but he gonna give that rose to this heifer that it caused all this confusion, all of this drama. Really, Peter? Like, they are all cussing him out, and he's out on a date with Kelsey. This is how I knew that Peter knew what he did was wrong, because he told her. He told Kelsey that he brought Alea back into the house, and he was just like, I just felt like I didn't really get, you know, a chance to get to know her, and I cut, like, giving her the whole sob story. And Kelsey gave a very mature response. I applaud her for it, right? But I call BS, because she was just like, if you really need to have her in here and get to know her and find out if it works for you, then fine, because I will want you to make a decision on me just based off of how you feel about me and not what anybody else has told you. Very mature response. Why are we surprised at this from Kelsey? Because it's Kelsey. Let me tell you something. If Kelsey was on that date, if she had beat herself up or got one little bruise on that arm and watched Peter give that rose to Alea, she would have lost it. She would have took a champagne bottle, the one that she brought from Des Moines, break it over Peter's head, and then try to cut Alea's throat, because Kelsey seems like the type. She seems like the type of woman you can't cross. I'm just saying, I watch a lot of Forensic Files, a lot of ID Channel, and a lot of Oxygen Network. Kelsey gonna be on Snapped. If she don't get it together, she gonna end up on Snap. She seems like the type. You see them previews for next week? She going bananas again. You know what I just realized? This is the date that was leaked. This date with Kelsey, this is the date that was leaked, I believe. It looks like it. Because remember, some fan was taking footage of the Bachelor filming, and they filmed Peter and one of the girls that he was on the date with. I think it was Kelsey. It looks like, I'm just saying, from what I see and how Kelsey is dressed, I think that this was the date, but it showed them like reshooting them entering and getting them kissing and hugging and having, you know, production and, you know, a director there directing how these things should go. Everybody was having a panic attack online talking about, oh my goodness, the Bachelor isn't real. They were reshooting scenes. What is going on here? I'm like, do y'all realize y'all watching a damn TV show? There is nothing on TV that's not scripted. The only thing that I think on TV that's not scripted, excluding the news, even that has a storyline, okay? Intervention. That's the only TV show that I can think of that is not scripted. That show, oh, that's real life. That's real life. But a lot of these shows are fake. Scenes are reshot. Relationships are forced. This is all done to give you guys a show. They want to get the audience engaged. They want to give you all a reaction. Guys, don't take this too seriously. This is for entertainment. The producers are going to do what they have to do to make sure you're entertained. Peter and Kelsey walked out of this restaurant, and they did not walk out in a way that pleased the production. Or if something happened with the lighting, or a mistake was made, or they didn't catch a kiss, they have to do it over again. And they're doing it because they want you to see every moment, and they want you to have a reaction. It's a TV show for your entertainment. Enjoy. I'm so sorry for those who were disappointed when they got to see behind the curtain, but baby, I live out here. None of this real. That's why I'm always shocked when these people get married. I'm just like, how much they pay y'all to do it? How much they pay y'all to get married? I don't care what none of y'all say. I don't care what none of y'all say. I know y'all have your favorites, but aside from Trista and Ryan, anybody who has gotten married on this show in the 2000s, it's a little suspect to me. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not saying that they don't have real love. I'm saying it's a little suspect to me. If you got married around the time of social media and Instagram and people found a way to make money off The Bachelor outside of The Bachelor, little suspect. That's all I'm saying. Before we get into the mess that's happening at the mansion, can I just say, when Kelsey was giving Peter her sob story about her life, Peter had to let her know that, sweetie, this is my show. You're not going to come on here and do all this crying about your parents, because I'm gonna have to put you in your place. And that he did. That he won up Kelsey. He said, listen, when my mother immigrated here from Cuba, she had to struggle. It was hard for her. My grandmother, she was a single parent and she had to do it on her own in the mean streets of Orange County. She was struggling. And then he let some tears fall down his face. Not one tear, but two at the same damn time. I said, Peter, let her know. Let her know. Peter said, I'm the lead of this show, Kelsey. You are just a mere day player. Stay in your lane, okay? Peter gave us his best Denzel in glory. He was not going to let Kelsey show him up. Back up Meryl Streep. Denzel has walked into the building. Now, let's talk real. Let's talk about how Alea came back in the house because she's a producer plant. Alea is a producer plant because she came into this house lying. She came back into this house saying, oh my goodness, when I was away, I was able to see that Victoria P used to date Chase. How the hell you know that? That did not make any sense. She was just like, oh, it was online. It was everywhere. Girl, really? Girl, really? You were sitting there talking to the producers and they was getting your storyline together. And they said, when you go in there, shake up the house with this tea. That story did not make sense because first of all, no shade. We didn't even know who Chase was until the show. Now I'm glad that we do. Yeah. So saying that Victoria dated Chase and it was all online, it just doesn't make sense to me. Now, if you would have came in saying Victoria is still with her ex or she has unfinished business with her ex and then talk about it with one of the girls and the girls bring up Chase and something like that happens, it would make more sense to me. But to say this all blew up online, how did people know that Chase was going to be performing at this time during that date? How did people know that Chase was Victoria's ex? Like, it just didn't make sense to me. It just, none of it made sense because I'm just like, the way you guys give me tea, y'all would have shared that with me. I didn't see anything about Victoria dating Chase or in him being on this show because if I would have known that, I would have been followed him on Instagram. I'm not buying Alea's lies at all. She came back to be messy. The producer gave her all this tea and what to do when she came back on this show and she's doing it. She's doing Mother is earning her check and her Instagram follows and her brand deals. I'm not hating, I'm just observing. Now let's get to the women's revolt. At the rose ceremony, and Denzel, also known as Peter, he wants to, have his moment. So he's, acting all, confused and hurt. Somebody on Twitter said that this whole episode, Peter looked like he was about to vomit. He did. So he's, I can't believe, I don't understand, I don't know who to trust. So he's thinking this is going to be his moment, right? So he walks down to get Victoria because he wants to talk to her because he doesn't trust her and he's confused about Alea and all this stuff. But the lady said, oh, hell no, you will not. Not on my watch. And the sisters, of course, the black women led the revolt. The sisters went in on him. So I believe her name is DeAndre. No, that's my best friend's last name. Why do I keep on saying that? Dondra? What's her name? Because I want to say, DeAndrea. So DeAndrea, she says, 1 second, Peter. I have to stop you right there. I was like, come on. Get him, DeAndrea. She just basically says, yesterday, I didn't beat myself up to get some time with you. This chick who wasn't even on the date, don't have a bruise in sight. She comes in and you give her the rose in front of all of us. That was highly disrespectful. And before she could finish, Tasha came up and ended him. She was just like, my ankle's still hurting. We're all beat up. Every woman in this room has a bruise on her, and she earned that for you. And for you to give her, of all people, the rose, that really hurt me, Peter. I said, oh, she gonna end with a couple, she gonna end with some forced tears. I said, come on, get them, ladies. Get them. After they said that, none of the ladies said anything. I'm like, y'all some punks. Why y'all gonna leave these girls out there? Again, they are always leaving other girls out there. The only one who kind of said something was McKenna, because the whole time DeAndrea and Natasha was cussing out Peter, she was like, yep. But she ain't saying nothing. McKenna crazy. I like her. I was like, McKenna's not well. She's gonna be good TV. So after Peter gets cussed out, he apologizes to the ladies, and then out of nowhere, Victoria F gets some cojones, right? Because Peter says, can I talk to you, Victoria? All of a sudden, she's just like, no, you can't talk to me, Peter. He was like, I just want to talk. No, I don't want to talk to you. He's like, well, can I talk to you? Okay, but I don't want to. But why? So why are you walking? If you don't want to talk to him, don't talk to him. So she starts walking and then he gets in and he's just like, okay. He just sits down. No, I don't want to sit down. And then she sits down. I'm like, Victoria, what are you doing? What are you doing? But I like that she at least tried to let him know that she was frustrated. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to touch you. I'm really upset with you, Peter. And her little mousy voice. I'm really upset with you, Peter. I'm really upset. What is going on? But bravo to the ladies. Y'all won the night for me because I love the fact that at least some of you said that this is not okay. This is not okay. One dude wrote on Twitter, he was like, did the ladies just unionize and ask for better working conditions? Yes, they did. And I am so proud of them for doing that because they do not have to take that kind of treatment. Not saying that Peter was like awful, but that was, in my opinion, that was extremely disrespectful to give that rose to Alea in front of all those ladies, especially after their arms. So many ladies have bruises all over their arms. They're like in these ball gowns with bruises on their arms for you, dude, and you give the rose to Alea, somebody they've been calling messy and manipulative this entire time. I would have felt some sort of way too. I'm glad that at least some of the ladies got him together because he needed it. But again, Peter's such a good guy. Like, he felt so bad. He apologized sincerely. You can't get mad at the work husband. So before I wrap up, I wanted to let you guys know that I was supposed to have a special guest tonight. I do not because she's knocked out sleep. I told you guys, my mom, when she goes to them early morning prayer sessions, I don't know if I'm gonna have her by the time the Bachelor starts. So she was a little tired today, but hopefully next Monday, if she don't go to 5:30 a.m. prayer, I don't know. She just may. But hopefully next week I can get her to film either a review or a live reaction, whichever one works for her, because she gets to bed at a certain time and this show just ends too late for her. So maybe I'll just do a live reaction and not a review with her because my mother desires her beauty rest and I ain't hating. I do too. Let me get out of here and get some sleep. If you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you next week for the following episode of The Bachelor. Bye, guys. I'm going to get out of here and get some sleep, but not before I stalk Chase's Instagram one more time.